Have a nice day for all of you. I'm Alisha Kavindi. My MU number is MU 21 233. We are going to talk about the musical instrument used in orchestra. Before that, we need to know what is the orchestra. An orchestra is a large ensemble of musicians that plays a wide range of music, typically involving classical compositions. It consists of various sections of instruments including string, woodwind, brass and percussion, all working together to produce a rich and dynamic sound. Orchestras perform in venues like concert halls and theaters and are commonly used in symphonies, operas, ballet and film scores. Main features of an orchestra's instrumental sections: string instrument, woodwinds, brass, percussions. The person who leads the orchestra, coordinating the musician and interpreting the music, tempo, dynamics, and expressions. There are three types of orchestras. They are symphony orchestra, chamber orchestra, Philharmonic Orchestra, like that. Now I invite to Sachini explain what are the different types of orchestras. Thank you.
Thank you, Malisha. My name is Sachini Kaushalya. My MU number is MU 21 259. I am talk about different type of orchestra. First one is chamber. There are very few musicians here. For example, 15 to 45 musicians. Ideal version of a full orchestra, typically including strings, a few woodwind and brass. The focus one music suited for similar groups such as Baroque, classical, and early romantic pieces. The music is often more intelligent, intimate. For example, the English Chamber Orchestra. Second one is symphony. The number of musicians in a symphony is between 17 and 100. It is full selected of strings, woodwinds, brass and percussions. There are mostly players, larger scales, symphonic works, concerts and orchestral suites spanning for the classical period to modern compositions. For example, the London Symphony Orchestra, Philharmonic Orchestra. The member of musician here is similar to symphony. The full orchestra with strings, woodwind, brass and percussion. The performance here are music similar to the symphonic orchestra. Thank you. Next invite the Anusha.
Thank you, Sachini. My registration number is I am MU 20 1063. Next, I will talk about instrument types. There we can identify instrument in four ways. What are they? The first is string instrument. The second is woodwind instrument. The third is brass wind instrument, and the last one is percussion instrument. Now let me tell you what a string instrument is. String instruments are the largest and often the most essential part of an orchestra. They provide the basis for an orchestral sound. This is played with the help of a bow. Bowed instruments include the string section instrument of the orchestra in Western classical music and a number of other instruments. The main string instruments in an orchestra are violin, viola, cello, double bass, and harp. On the left side of this slide is the violin family, and on the right is the harp instrument. The string are the largest family of instruments in the orchestra, and they come in four sizes. The violin, which is the smallest, viola, cello, and the biggest, the double bass, sometimes called the contrabass. The smaller instrument, the violin and viola, make higher pitch sound, while the largest cello and double bass produce low pitch sound. They are all similarly shaped with curvy wooden bodies and wooden neck. The string stretch over the body and neck and attach to small decorative head where they are tuned with small tunes. So I invite Januki to talk about woodwind instruments next. Thank you.
Thank you, Anusha. I am Januki Jitmini, MU 21 262. I am talk about woodwind instrument. Woodwind instruments are a family of musical instruments with the greatest category of wind instruments. There are two main types of woodwind instruments, flute and reed instrument. Common example include flute, clarinet, oboe, bassoon, and saxophone. All woodwinds produce sound by splitting the air blown into them on a sharp edge such as a reed. Despite the name, a woodwind may be made of any material, not just wood. Common example of other materials include brass, silver, cane, and other materials such as gold and platinum. The saxophone, for example, a brass instrument. A brass instrument is a musical instrument that produces sound by sympathetic vibration of air in a tubular resonator in sympathy with the vibration of the player's lips. There are several factors involved in producing different pitch on a brass instrument. The view of most scholars is that the term brass instrument should be defined by the way the sound is made as above and not by whether the instrument is actually made of brass. Thus, one fine brass instrument made of wood like an alphorn, the cornet, the separate, and the dirigando. Now I invite to talk Sanduni. Thank you.
I'm Sandhani Bhagya. My MU number is 21014. Now I talking about percussion instruments. Percussion instruments produce sound by striking or shaking them. They are the backbone of music, providing rhythm and energy. Drum kits. These are versatile sets with various drums and cymbals. Drummers use sticks to create different sounds and rhythms. Hand drums, instruments like bongos, djembes, and congos are played with bare hands. The way you hit the drum affects the sound and rhythm. Mallet instruments, instruments like timpani and xylophone use mallets, soft or hard, to produce different pitches and tones. Percussionists need a strong sense of rhythm and coordination to create the driving force behind music. Next, I will talk about placement musical instrument and orchestra. Orchestras are typically arranged in a semicircle with the conductor at the center. A string, the foundation, are at the front. Violins, viola, cellos, and basses are arranged left to right. Behind them are woodwinds like flutes and clarinet on the left, and oboes and bassoons on the right. Brass instruments like trumpets, horns, and trombones are positioned behind the woodwinds. Percussion instruments like drums and cymbals are at the back. This arrangement ensures balance and harmony throughout the orchestra. Next, I invite Monisha.
Thank you, Sandhani. The slide shows why are the instruments of an orchestra placed this way. There are some reasons for that. The first one is blending of sound. In an orchestra, instruments are arranged to facilitate blending and balance of sound. The typical layout: string at the front, woodwind in the middle, a brass behind, and percussion at the back. This arrangement allows for optimal sound projection and interaction among sections, also this enhancing the emotional impact of the music. The second one is leading of sounds. In an orchestra, the arrangement of instruments is crucial for leading sounds effectively. Strings are typically positioned at the front, allowing their softer, more lyrical tones to carry well. Woodwinds, which have bright, clear sound, are placed behind the strings to complement their warmth. Bass instruments, known for their powerful projections, are situated further back to ensure they can be heard without overpowering the other sections' percussions. Effective communication and coordinating are essential for a successful performance. For example, the conductor is central to coordinating the orchestra. They use hand signals and facial expressions to convey tempo, dynamics, and expressions, ensuring all musicians are aligned. When we talk about historical traditions in orchestra, the structure and arrangement of orchestras have evolved over time, influenced by various historical traditions. In the Baroque era, early orchestras were smaller. In the classical period, the orchestra expanded. In the Romantic era, the orchestra of the Romantic era became even larger with a wider range of instruments. Modern developments. In 20th century, orchestras became more flexible. And the last one is tonal balance and frequency range. Tonal balance and frequency range are critical to the overall sound of an orchestra. The tonal balance refers to the equal prominence of different instrument sections within the orchestral sound. The arrangement allows for a blend of higher and lower frequencies, ensuring that no section dominates. When we talk about frequency range, each instrument contributes to a specific range of frequencies. For example, strings provide warmth and richness in the mid to upper frequencies. Okay, then talk about importance of an orchestra. The slide shows some of importance of orchestra. Then talk about more. The orchestra embodies collaborating, bringing together diverse musicians with different instruments and background to create cohesive musical experience. Especially, orchestral music has a unique ability to evoke deep emotions and connecting with audience on a personal level. To continue this presentation, I'll invite to Netmini. Thank you.
Thank you, Monisha. I'm Netmini. Now, my MU number is MU 21223. Now I am going to talk about the most famous orchestra players in the world. There are many orchestra players. Among Emmanuel Kisson is harpist, Carlos Kleban is professional conductor, as well as Sabine Meyer is a world famous clarinet player, and she has appeared as a soloist with more than 300 orchestras internationally, and she is a great demand with chamber ensemble worldwide. And other person is Joseph Gongold. He is a famous and talented Russian violinist, and James Golves is the famous flutist. He is also nicknamed the man with the golden horn. So now we know what is the orchestra, what are the instruments we use that, and how to placement instruments in the orchestra like that. Now I am going to play a video. It is showing how an orchestra plays. All those points are included here. Therefore, I hope our presentation is ending here. So thank you all of you.